I see one of the most vibrant, dynamic cities in the world.
It may be vibrant.
Piers, go to Harrods after this and tell me what country you're in.
Stabbings are very vibrant.
Where? It may be Harrods.
Hang on.
Harrods.
What was that? Go where? Harrods?
Yes.
Well, actually, you've now reminded me to play a clip, because you came on my show last week. You then went on, Glenn Beck, and you said this.
Piers is an elite. He's never been to Luton. He doesn't understand the working class. He probably doesn't go to any football matches with these people. He's got his own little box. And they don't understand that the Muslim problem is within the working class. They're not in, Cheddington. They're not in the West London.
Yeah.
They're not in South England. They're all concentrated in Birmingham, in Rotherham, in Luton, and those towns are gone.
Just to clear up, I've been to Luton many times. I go to football all the time. I often sit with regular fans.
Have you been to a Luton match?
Hang on.
No one in the stands at a Luton match is from Luton.
I often go. Well, I wouldn't go to a Luton football match because the leader of the Luton football hooligan firm for a long time was a guy called Stephen Yaxley, who's now Tommy Robinson. In fact, he has multiple criminal convictions for running.
Why is no one in the stands
wait a second, Gavin. Wait a second. I'm responding to what you told Glenn Beck. If you ask why I don't go and watch Luton Town, A, I'm an Arsenal fan and we're about to win everything. But secondly, Luton Town had a big hooligan problem.
I'm sure Piers helped with that a lot.
Caused by Tommy Robinson under his real name, Stephen Yaxley. He was the leader of the hooligan mob.
What is the problem with hooliganism? It's mutual combat. It's a sport in and of itself.
It's not mutual combat. It's a bunch of Neanderthals beating each other up and dragging in civilians. But let me finish my point.
Not to join Tommy Robinson.
Gavin,
that's anti-Britain.
Gavin, I'm going to come to your... Gavin, you haven't even asked my view yet. My point is I'm responding to what you told Glenn Beck. I go to football all the time. I've been a football fan for 45, 50 years. I've regularly stood on the terraces with the working class fans. Let me tell you about hospitality boxes at Arsenal, for example. They're full of working class people who've done well for themselves. Why you would think over in America that somehow only people who are not working class watch football from hospitality boxes is bullshit. So please allow me to educate you about football grounds in this country. Right? And I'm not an elitist. I went to a state school with working class people. I consider myself working class. My parents ran a pub in the south of England, for God's sake. Right? I am a working class man.
Why did you tell Glenn Beck to avoid Tommy?
I'll tell you why I avoid Tommy, because he's an absolute charlatan with a string of criminal convictions as long as his arm. You've tried to defend him. I got to do a thread, you said last year, on all Tommy's crimes. They showcase Britain's madness. Let's go through these crimes. Assault, 2005. Common assault, 2011. Leading a...
Oh, no. Did he get in a couple of fights? He's a soccer hooligan, of course he did.
100-man football brawl in 2011 using a false passport to enter the US and mortgage fraud. Repeated jailings.
You don't know the background of these crimes.
I've studied him more than you have. Yeah, I've studied him more than you have. Let me finish my point, then you can respond. Repeated jailings in 2017, 2019, most recently in October 2024, not because of his free speech being suppressed because of his ridiculous film he brought out that you all fell for, but because actually he lost a high-profile libel action and was ordered to pay £100,000 in damages after falsely accusing a 15-year-old Syrian refugee of being violent. And then he lied about it in his film, and that was a repeat of a defamation, a breach of the contempt of court, and he went to prison for it. You're all being taken for mugs in America by Tommy Robinson.
I've got to intercede. Whether or not that Syrian boy was guilty of the accusations made against him is academic. The point is that the civil case that was founded against Tommy Robinson was a civil case. And Lord Hermer politicised the whole thing. Lord Hermer being the Attorney General.
So did Piers.
A political appointment.
No, I didn't.
A political appointment ennobled in order to get him into the cabinet, decided to elevate the importance of that civil case to a criminal level. And he can only do that if he can convince himself that that is a matter of public interest. That jailing of Tommy Robinson in 2024 was a political jailing.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
It was. There was a court order to stop him repeating his lies about that Syrian refugee.
This is why May 16th is going to pop off because of people like you.
Yeah,
there's going to be violence on May 16th. You're all being sold. Mark my words.
He went to jail for criticizing grooming gangs. Yeah, I think I'm more upset about the grooming gangs than his criticism of it.
You're all being completely duped by Tommy Robinson. By the way, let's call him Stephen. His real name is Stephen. He's not even called Tommy Robinson.
I've studied the case.
Wow.
I've studied the case. It's got nothing to do with whether or not that Syrian boy was rightfully or wrongfully accused of what he was doing. What it's got to do with is Tommy Robinson refusing to take his film down and Herma, a political appointment, interceding. And instead of the punishment typically for breaching an injunction in a civil action is a slap on the wrist, a bigger fine, Herma took it to another level and threw Tommy Robinson in jail.
Okay, all I can tell you is that Tommy Robinson has a standing invitation to come on this programme, which he's consistently bottled it and refused to do. And I can tell you the reason why. He knows that if we do it here in England and I ask him to repeat his lies about that Syrian boy that you've all swallowed in America, if he repeats them, he goes back to jail. You've believed his lies. And fall on you.
It's illegal for him to talk about that boy.
Fall on. No, it's not illegal.
For him.
He lost.
You're
he lost.
elite.
He's more concerned with not being looked at as a racist than he is about his own people living or dying. That's fucking pathetic.
He lost a defamation case.
Has made it illegal for him to discuss the case.
He lost a defamation case.
But that was a civil case, Piers.
You
It's a defamation case.
And you don't go to jail over losing civil cases.
Let me bring in Ashok here. Ashok, look,
Change
we're
the
getting
subject.
slightly sidetracked, but I do think the credibility of Tommy Robinson and the damage that he does in America about the reputation of this country and London all being overrun by Muslims, and everyone swallows it in America. They believe this bullshit that comes out of his mouth.
I'm from England, by the way. I was born in Hitchin.
Really?
Yes.
So have you ever been to
See, you don't have to talk like a pussy just because you're born there. You can fix it.
Tommy?
Have you ever been to
I'm British.
Have you ever been to a Luton Town match?
Of course, yes, I have.
When?
With Tommy, and
Which
not
one?
person in the stands lived in Luton at the time. They were all expats because they were driven out by Muslims.
Which game did you go
Luton
to?
Is a Muslim town today.
Which game did you go to?
I don't know.
Well, what year was
Some
it?
game.
What
I
year
was
was
with
it?
Tommy.
What year was it?
It was 7 years ago.
Yeah, which league were they in?
I don't like soccer. I'm a baseball guy.
I don't think you went,
But
did
I was
you?
there.
Because he didn't remember I don't know the name of any soccer team because soccer is for girls. So I don't know any of their names either. If I would have gone just like him. And it was on the internet. Like it was a big thing. He went and they took pictures. It's not like he's lying about it.
Visiting Tommy, and I was alarmed to see that you lost your sport.
I think you're talking claptrap. You never went to a game with at Luton with Tommy Robinson. All right, Ashok.
Look it up. It's on the internet.
I was born and raised in America.
I
lived there for decades. I've lived in London for 17 years now. This bizarre obsession with Americans have with London and saying it's overrun with Muslims is because America has a history of Jim Crow, segregation, the ghetto, something
KKK.
Britain hasn't experienced and London hasn't experienced. After the war ended, they spread out council estates across the city. It's the only city in the world that does that. It's one of the most, we might have a little bit of segregation, one of the most desegregated cities in the world. It's something we should be proud of. And they can't stand it. They don't understand it. They can't explain it. They're like, why isn't it more like America?
Ashok, it's not right, though.
I just think it's sad.
Multiculturalism coupled with mass migration.
These are just buzzwords. We're talking about the empirical evidence.
No.
America's a segregated society.
Can I
London is not as segregated, anywhere near as segregated.
We have got segregation right across the United Kingdom. We have got multicultural.
Nothing like America. Nothing like America.
Maybe.
The evidence
but
is
I don't aspire to make the position worse in the United Kingdom. What
Why
we
are
have
these
is
European settlers of America complaining about immigration?
Can I just finish my point? What we've got in the United Kingdom is lots of different cultures imported into this country, not homegrown, not part of traditional British culture, having a protected blanket put around them, being celebrated and promoted with our British culture being set aside. And these people are operating often in cultural silos, absolutely at odds even with each other. So, for example, when there was a cricket match, Piers, I know you're a cricket fan, when there was a cricket match between Pakistan and India, rival groups of Hindus and Muslims in Leicester went to war against each other over a cricket match where England.
Hang on.
That is a cultural.
You make that a cultural thing.
Ben, am I right? Hang on, please. Hang on, please.
In the United Kingdom.
Hang on, please. Ben, am I right in thinking that all your family then were all homegrown, going back centuries?
No, I'm not suggesting that for a moment.
Where were they from?
No, the key thing.
Hang on. Where were they from?
My father's Pakistani. My mother is English.
So none of your family.
What's shocking about that? You can't look at him and tell he's from India or Pakistan. Like it's obvious, but he assimilated. So Piers is going to try and draw this to like some kind of a similarity here. There's no similarity. This dude is fully assimilated. He does not even he just looks like a regular person.
Why are me and Ben fighting?
I don't think he's in a grooming gang.
Apparently, they were compatible with the West.
I feel like I want to fight Ben right now.
Can I just say,
how extraordinary
I'm
that
not-
someone whose father's a Pakistani
I'm not
is
making-
preaching to us about the need for everyone to be homegrown.
I'm not.
What are you talking about?
No, I never.
he's talking about assimilation,
I have to
Piers.
America. are complaining about
Assimilation.
have
Don't
to.
all talk at once, Ben.
You've accused me of saying people have to be homegrown. That
You
is
did.
completely wrong.
You literally just said it.
No, what I said was we need cultural assimilation. We need
Homegrown was your phrase, not mine.
No, I didn't say homegrown.
You did say
I said,
homegrown.
no,
You
I
said
never.
homegrown. You
I
said
never said homegrown.
Well, I tell you what, we're going to play it back
Play it
to you.
back.
Okay, let's
And
get
play
the
the
clip.
context.
Get me
Play
the
the
clip,
context.
and when it's
Play
ready,
the context.
we'll play
Play
it
the
back.
context.
You said homegrown.
What we have set
got it?
aside, what we have set aside in the United Kingdom is a homogeneous, settled British culture. Because we have practiced mass migration from cultures that are different to ours, and we've protected
like Pakistan?
and promoted them,
Like Pakistan?
including Pakistan, Afghanistan, Syria, North Africa.
Is your father still alive?
My father is still alive.
Okay, you're going to send him home?
No, it's not a matter of deporting everyone who is not.
What is it then?
It is
His father didn't try to bring Pakistan to England and just make y'all assimilate. That's what they're talking about. They don't have an issue with people coming and assimilating. Like, I don't have a problem with some immigrants coming here and assimilating. It's whenever I have to learn to speak your language now because you came here. That's the fucking issue. And Piers doesn't see it because he doesn't have to do any of that. His limo driver speaks English.
It is a matter of having cultural homogeneity. So we are settled as
Your
a
father
country.
wouldn't be from
The
cultural
Unite-
homogeneity.
But
He's from Pakistan.
the Unite the Kingdom
He
march.
assimilated.
Why wouldn't you deport your father?
Because I'm not going to deport people who are perfectly law-abiding
you're
and
never gonna
respect.
deport anyone.
and
So
Why
as long as it's
having a
members of Ben
discussion?
Habib's family,
No,
they don't
no,
get deported.
this is so
But if it's
twisted.
anybody else from Pakistan,
This is-
they all get sent home.
What we need in this country
love-
is a reversal of mass migration, and we need British culture, including our Christian constitutional and cultural roots, to be.
He always does that too. He will try and find out what your nationality is and just see how far back it goes so he can see if you're not allowed to comment on this anymore. Like, it doesn't matter if you just got off the boat. If you're assimilating and everybody else isn't, you can criticize it. I got no problems with that.
Put first and foremost at the heart of our cultural settlement.
Ben, is
this
your
is
father
where this
Christian?
country.
Is your father Christian?
My father is not. He's not really religious. He's drunk all his life as a Muslim.
Wow.
As a Muslim.
As a Muslim.
Your father's a Pakistani Muslim, but you want people to be homegrown Christians.
I didn't
Wow.
say homegrown
Wow.
Christians. I didn't say homegrown.
You did say homegrown, by the
You
way.
guys not see that modern
We can't,
Muslims
just
are
to be
not
clear to
assimilating
viewers
Britain?
watching,
How
to
do
be
you
clear,
not see
hang
that?
on, hang on,
Play it
please,
back.
hang
Play
on.
it back and
No,
play
no,
the
just to be
context.
clear, technically we can't play it back
Andrew
while
knows
we're
he
filming
did
the
say
show.
it.
Okay.
However, we will be posting the clip afterwards.
Great.
I'll give you one last chance, Ben Habib, to admit that you used the phrase homegrown.
If I used it,
Yeah.
I did not use it in the sense that you have to be born and
You have to be
of
grown
ancestral
here.
British lines.
Ah.
If I used it, I use it in a cultural context
Right.
to emphasize the point that we need a settlement in this country. Can I just say one last thing? The government of this country defines cultural nationalism as being far right. You can go to the government website, it defines cultural nationalism as being far right. In order to have a society, in order to have a nation, you need a common culture. And in order to believe in, if we believe in our common culture, a British culture, we are now defined as far right.
You're the
This
son
is-
of a Pakistani Muslim, for God's sake.
If you, if
What are
you,
you talking about, man?
my mother is white, English.
Can you imagine if somebody tried to use that in a debate against somebody from America? Oh, you're black and you're saying that. Like, so what? You can still see the world around you regardless of where your daddy was born.
Her
So
father.
she's okay?
No,
But your dad
and
isn't?
and I'm okay. And anyone who
What does
loves
your
this
dad
country-
say about this claptrap?
He's absolutely with me.
The argument boils down to this. Hey, if you're Muslim, you should agree with Muslim grooming gangs. Is that the argument? He's saying he doesn't like the crime.
Really?
are many,
He thinks
many-
all Pakistani Muslims should be sent home, does he?
I never said that, Piers. You're talking nonsense.
You said
are-
we should have homegrown people in this country.
No, I'm afraid you've hijacked the whole
afraid
debate.
you did.
You wish to racialize it. I'm not.
Oh my God, man!
You're
the
racializing.
one that used the phrase homegrown.
I am talking about cultural homogeneity,
He did say cultural too. When they do play it back, he did say cultural.
assimilation of foreign cultures into this country if they wish to come here. Otherwise, if you don't buy into what it means to be British, you don't like what it means to be British, you don't like Christianity, leave the country. It's fine.
But this is what's been said for going on a century now. This is what they said to the Italians who first came here in the 20s. This is what they then said to the Windrush generation who came here in the 60s and built the entire underground network in London.
That's a
Might I-
myth.
Right, and they all assimilated, right? That's the whole point. The one we're talking about don't assimilate. They expect you to assimilate.
Just said, what?
That's not true.
It's a
They
myth.
didn't
What do you
build
mean?
Britain. They were temporary.
They're trying to get rid of dogs because they say that the Muslims don't like dogs. Like they think that's something against the religion. So they're trying to get the people who live there to get rid of them too. Like, that's how they want you to assimilate to them now that they're there.
Laborers. They did not build Britain. That's an old trope
So they
that's got to
didn't-
go. Look,
what do you
you
mean? If they
morons.
built the
You think we're
underground, then
racist.
they did build
Sikhs
it.
blend in beautifully with Britain. Hindus assimilate beautifully. Every other culture assimilates beautifully. But modern
You just said
Islam
that the Hindus
is
got
not
into a row
assimilated.
over cricket.
And Luton is a
So-
perfect example of that. You elites don't
Ben.
go to these countries. And May 16th
What do you
is
mean by
anti-you.
elite, by the way?
May
What do you
16th
mean
is
by elite?
anti-Piers.
Who's elite here?
I mean, you. If you don't think that Britain has a Muslim problem today, you're an elite, and you don't travel, and you don't know working class people, and you've never been.
You've
to
no
Luton Town,
idea
and
who
you've never
I
been
hang
to
out
Birmingham,
with.
and
You
you've
haven't
never
got a
been to
clue,
Rotherham.
man.
Go there. Use your eyeballs.
I
You
don't
haven't
think
got a
you've been to London
clue
in a very
what
long
I
time.
do or who I see. Have you?
Oh,
You're
I
just
know. If you
spouting-
don't think
you're
that
just
Luton is
spouting
gone,
nonsense.
you haven't been. You have not been to Luton if you think it exists today. It is a fifth post. It is a Muslim city. It is over. It's gone.
it's mad.
It's been written off. It's a
Wow.
Muslim outpost.
But Gavin, there's no Muslims in his limo. Just saying.
A Muslim outpost. Wow.
Go there. You can't arrest a Muslim there, or they'll take over the police
When were you
station and
last
rip them
in
out of
Luton?
jail.
He said
The
seven.
cops
When were you
don't
last
arrest them
there? When were you last there?
5 years ago.
Oh, it was
I'm
seven.
He
close
said
with Tommy
seven.
You said
Robinson
7 a minute ago. Which one is it?
every year. I was at the Unite the Right rally too. I'm British, you morons.
You're British.
Yes, my mother
Why are you
used to
why are you
shop in
occupying
Luton,
America?
and it
What's
was
your
all
What's your citizenship?
British, American, Canadian.
You can't be three. You have to be dual national.
That's also a myth.
You don't have
dumb
three
bitch.
passports.
What? Whoa! What did you call
Yes,
her?
you can.
What did you
Of course
call her?
you can. I called her a dumb bitch.
Can you apologise, please?
I'm sorry, that was a bad word. I
Thank
lost
you.
my
I
temper.
appreciate it.
Notice the feminists come out
Yeah, it is actually. I just think, why would you do that?
because she's being a bitch.
I got mad. I used a swear word.
You just use a disgusting phrase to a woman.
What? Have you not been in an
makes it
argument
twice
before?
as
You
bad.
use swear words in an argument. We're going to dwell on this like you dwelled on homegrown and ignored what's really going on here, which is
I tend to pick
class.
up on things. I think
Do you notice how Pierce thinks that's twice as bad because he said it to a lady?
what people say, particularly when they get angry, can be very enlightening. Very enlightening.
I've got to watch this back.
She's doing a traditionally male job, though, right? So if men yell like that at each other, shouldn't she assimilate? Oh, wait, we got to assimilate to her. That's how Pierce thinks.
Because I did not use it in any context.
Well, I'll bet you your entire net worth you use that phrase.
I
You're going
not
to take
in-
the
not
bet?
in- not in
You're going
the-
to take the
oh
bet?
my
or
God,
not?
stop
Yes or
dwelling
no?
on
Not in a
semantics.
Yes
racial
or no?
sense. Not
Oh,
in a
it
racial
absolutely
sense.
was.
If I used
in
it,
a
it was
racial
in a
context.
cultural sense.
Oh, no.
It was,
in a
cultural
racial
sense.
context.
No, I don't,
Because you
I'm
were,
brown. I'm brown. Turkeys don't vote for
Oh,
Christmas.
no, we found out what you are, which made it all the more baffling why you would
It's
use phrases
perfectly
like
clear
that.
what I am.
Are you calling a
One-
Pakistani a racist to Pakistanis?
Yeah, and this is the point about the United Kingdom march. Everyone wants to class the United Kingdom march as racist.
Okay.
Actually,
I haven't said that.
People do say it. They say
I haven't
it's
said
racist.
that.
People do
You
say
call
it.
Tommy Robinson a
They say
racist?
it's far right. It's racist. It's a bunch of white people who just want to deport everyone. It's rubbish. I spoke at the 13th of September. There were lots of different ethnicities present, but they had one thing in common. They love this country. They love its history.
Okay,
they
we've
love its
now got
culture.
the clip. Let's play it.
Yeah. What we've got in the United Kingdom is lots of different cultures imported into this country, not homegrown. The cultures are not homegrown. The cultures are not homegrown. That's the point.
Yeah.
The cultures are not homegrown. I did not.
He did say it was about culture, and that's exactly what the clip just showed. So he was right. He did say it, and he didn't think he did. But he did say if I did say it, it would be about the culture, not about people.
Use
gotcha
it in a
there.
racist sense.
You assured me you didn't use it at all.
Thank
Yeah,
Right.
but
Well,
you've taken the cultures were go and play the clip again.
Yeah,
the cultures were not homegrown.
Play it again.
I didn't
Hang
say
on.
play
White
it
people
again.
calling a
Play it
brown
again.
guy
If-
racist.
if
That's
the-
what
if
Britain
the
has
powers of
Let me go to Andrew. Let me go to Andrew Wilson.
Yeah.
Andrew.
He is actually correct here, Piers. He said the cultures are not homegrown. So he's saying that these are foreign cultures which are coming
Absolutely.
in.
Thank you.
That's literally the context of that clip.
Right, but his own father is a Pakistani
So
Muslim.
fucking what?
So his culture
Yeah,
is
but-
not homegrown. So my point is,
Well,
he's a
there's two-
flaming hypocrite. And he doesn't
that's
want
not
his dad
his-
deported,
No, that's
obviously,
not his culture,
because it's his
but that's
dad.
not his culture.
He just wants other
Wait, his father
Pakistani Muslims
assimilated.
I've never,
thrown out.
How's that his culture?
I've never advocated for mass deportations of people who belong in this country, who buy into this country, love this country, are prepared to die for this country. I've got no issue with people like that. The people I've got
Nobody
problems with,
does.
who bring antithetical ideologies to this country and cause us, wish us harm, wish our wives, our daughters harm, and wish to set us aside. I've got a real issue with that.
And what cultures are they?
Their cultures, they are muscular.
Name one.
Well, let me tell you, it's far
Muslim.
more nuanced than you might like to think, because you want to have a head-on, absolute head-butting
Well, just name one.
exercise.
Name one.
But
Name
if you take lots
Just
of people
say it.
in, for example,
Name
as this
one.
country,
From where?
Can I? If you take lots of people in from places like the depths of Punjab, the depths of Swat, the depths of Kashmir, and who haven't had a they haven't had a brush.
So from where your father came from,
they haven't had a brush. My father is an educated man. He got a PhD at King's College, King's College in London.
So which part of Pakistan is he from?
He's from Punjab, but he was educated.
So the depths of Punjab.
If you go to the depths of Punjab, you might
is he
find
from the
funny,
is he from the depths of Punjab?
If you import barbarians who are not even
from the barbarians from the depths of Punjab, where your own father comes from.
You're determined to overspeak me and not let me finish my point. If you import
Piers can't, because his show is ran by people who want to perpetuate that. Like it looks like it's the Piers Morgan show, but he has people that pay him. So that's why he can't. He wants that. He wants the thing because that's what his overlords tell him he has to want.
Barbarians
from the depths of Punjab
who are not even welcome in polite Pakistani society. If you welcome them into British society and you put a protective blanket around them like we have with progressive discrimination, you are going to damage this country, and that is what we.
But there is something utterly ridiculous about you taking this strong principled stand against people coming from the depths of Punjab
we have barbarians
when your own father comes from Punjab.
Don't assimilate. His father assimilated. This is a
How do you know his father assimilated?
Talking about assimilation.
You don't know his father.
Modern Islam is not assimilating in Britain. It's incongruous.
Actually,
in fact, it's in the business plan. It's in the Quran. It says don't assimilate.
I'll bring Ashok in here. My understanding is that the vast majority of the 5 million Muslims in our country do assimilate quite happily. And there are some who don't. And there are some, by the way, from
the ones who don't are raping your daughters.
every
so
other form of immigrants in our country.
Do you agree that
don't
assimilation
assimilate.
is important? Do you agree that assimilation
I think it would be nice if
Piers was on the news hiding stories about that so that it didn't get out because he didn't want to look like a racist. So he actually hid stories about grooming gangs and things like that they didn't want out there. That's the same kind of propaganda we get here with Fox News and CNN. They look at it and see if it conforms to their worldview before they tell you the news. That's why we've got some issues, because it's all media ran and it's all from the same people.
Everybody assimilated, yes.
I would like everyone to get on. We're not assimilated.
You're not going to get to assimilation by branding people who come from where your father comes from a bunch of barbarians.
The ones that we are importing
is important.
No, it is, and I'm using it advisedly because we are taking people who are barbarians into this country.
But Ben,
if you
I don't know that your dad's not a barbarian, and the people who are going on like Unite the Kingdom.
I want to interview your father.
Will be racist.
I want to interview your father, see which depth of Punjab he came from, and whether he's barbarian.
Also,
Why are we denying this Muslim problem? I don't get it.
For not making a difference. They're saying deport all the Muslims. So there's a distinction here. And they're saying, oh, actually, a majority of Britain wants that. There's no evidence of that. We've just had an election. And Ben represents probably the most right-wing party in the country.
We are going to have.
And he
hang on, let me
get any numbers. So there isn't
Britain doesn't
actually
want to
any
change.
support for what they're advocating.
Yeah.
There's no democratic mandate to deport Ben's father, even though Ben insists he doesn't want to be deported.
My poor father.
Andrew and Gavin have just said they want Ben's father to be deported. Andrew, do you think that Ben's father should be deported in the way you suggested when you first spoke?
Gavin, should he?
Obviously not. We're talking about assimilation.
You said all the Muslims should be
did
deported.
assimilate. When Pakistanis first started coming to Britain, it was working out. But something changed in the past 10 years. I don't know, maybe because they got more than 10% in certain neighborhoods, and now it is not working. And I don't get how you can't recognize that. That's why Unite the Right had 3 million people. That's why
They didn't have 3 million people. They had 150,000
No, that's not right.
maximum.
That's
They
not
had
right.
150,000.
If the news doesn't show you, then they didn't have that many. That's Pierce's argument here, because that's how he looks at the world. Whatever the news tells you is real, and whatever you see in reality, that's nothing. Just look at the news.
Maximum people
Were
there.
you there, Piers?
I know. Well, let me tell you. I know. I know the biggest. I can tell you the biggest march. I can tell
They have photos of it, and Pierce is still denying it.
you the biggest march in this country's history was in 2003. It was the march against the Iraq War. I know about it because I was leading the campaign against the Iraq War, and most of them were carrying Daily Mirror, the paper I ran, placards saying no war. And it was the biggest march, and it was dwarfed.
It was
Tommy
Tommy's
Robinson
march,
marches
and the elites
by about
lie,
12
and the
to
media
1.
lies.
It is completely
May 16th
bullshit.
is probably gonna be
You're
4
going to
million.
believe
It's gonna
Tommy
be
Robinson, who says 3 million people came to his march. It is bullshit. Utter bullshit.
I tell you, it's equally
That's why he
bullshit
got
to say it was
helicoptered.
Good. I hope you
150,000.
can watch it, buddy.
But okay, let me just make my
Thanks
point.
for admitting
Hang on one
it's 3
second. Hang on one second. I want to make a point wider about the rally, though. I think people in this country are perfectly entitled to demonstrate peacefully. I think there's nothing intrinsically wrong with people attending the Tommy Robinson March if they wish to do that. Most of them do so completely.
Why'd you tell Glenn Beck not to go?
Hang on, I haven't finished speaking yet. Most of them do so peacefully. That's fine with me, right? If you want to lasso your horse next to Tommy Robinson, absolutely fine with me. But be very cognizant of the kind of person he really is, not the ridiculous caricature he presents of himself in the United States, which is causing this country's reputation a lot of harm because you're all falling for it. I can tell you, if you walk through London, any part of London, you're not getting a sense of it being overrun by anybody.
You'll be too busy defending your butthole. That's what I've heard.
London is a great,
mad?
vibrant
It's not British.
city. You're not
It's
here.
not British anymore.
How do you
London's
know?
gone.
Where do you live? Where do you live?
I live in New York City. I was
New
just
York
in
City.
London. I was there for
I was
the
in
night
New
to
York
ride.
City. I go there all the time. I love New York City.
I've been going to Britain my whole life.
New York
and
City's
London
crime.
does not
New
feel
York
like
City's
Britain. You know
crime.
what London feels like? It
Your
feels like
crime
an
rate
airport.
is immeasurably
Everyone
worse than
tangentially
London's.
related to the town.
Right.
No one's British there anymore.
Your crime
pubs
rate
are
in New
dying,
York
too.
is
Pubs are being
immeasurably.
replaced with
You
mosques.
have immeasurably more serious crime in New York than we do in London. Why is that? If we're being overrun
Well, I don't think you want to go near that third rail, but it has to do with race.
in New York.
Yes.
Well, do explain.
Well, we have a major crime problem in this country and in New York City because blacks and browns are on welfare and they're addicted to crack and they have guns because we have a socialist Muslim mayor who's letting them do whatever they want. It's sort of like London, but you guys have knives, we have guns. Guns kill more people. And when Mamdani allows them to do whatever they want and lets them out on bail,
Mamdani's
and
been in
doesn't
charge
prosecute
for
anyone
a
else,
few months.
We have total anarchy.
New York,
So we're
last time I checked,
experiencing
has had a
Muslim
more
problem for the first time ever. We got our own Sadiq Khan now.
Mamdani has been mayor for a few months, right? New York City has had a far higher serious crime rate than London throughout my entire adult life. What are you talking about? And you've had white mayors and Christian mayors.
We've had socialist mayors. We've had one right-wing mayor, Giuliani, and that's when there was no crime in New York.
Of course there was
Before and
crime
after
in
that,
New York.
it's
What are
been
you talking
affirmative
about?
As if he thought he meant no crime at all. He means it went laid down, stupid.
action socialism.
Of course there was crime in New York under Giuliani.
No, Giuliani, our annual murder rate went from 2,000 to 300 with Giuliani. Thousands of lives.
That sounds like
were
a crime
saved
rate to
because
me.
we got a right-wing person. Under David Dinkins in '92, it was brutal, and we're getting back there now. But we have a socialism problem in New York City, and you guys have a socialism and a Muslim problem, and now we're experiencing both. With our
Well,
new
the point I was going to make about the United Kingdom march, now let me bring Andrew back in here. I don't pretend for a moment that we have not had a poor record in controlling immigration to this country this century, right? We have had two problems. One, we've had the issue of small boats coming over the channel from France, which has been completely uncontrolled. And we've had between 40 and 60,000 people a year coming in illegally. And once they get here, it's almost impossible to send them anywhere else. And so they've been put up in hotels at expense to the taxpayer, cause a lot of social anger and unrest. And it should have been tackled years ago. We've also had a massive issue with legal migration, where under Tony Blair, a Labour Prime Minister, but also then fueled by successive Conservative Prime Ministers, we have allowed too many people to come into the country legally with too many dependents. I don't think these things are contestable. They're just a reality of what we've done in this country. But the narrative that we are being overrun by Muslims is untrue. And that is also, I think,
What do you think it means when you say you let in too many? Doesn't that mean that you're overrun?
demonstrable fact in this country. And I'm just concerned that the problem with Robinson is that he spews all this stuff all the time. If you look at his social media feed, the only crimes he focuses on are crimes perpetrated by Muslims. And yet the vast majority... Hang on, Gavin.
Raped.
I'm talking to Andrew. And yet the vast majority of crime in the UK is committed by white people, including sexual crime, including
You don't
rapes,
understand per capita?
including the vast majority of crime is done by white people.
Yeah, but what
you'll
about
never
per capita?
believe that looking at Tommy Robinson's feed, because he only...
Piers is going to pretend like he doesn't know per capita. There's more white people there, so white people commit more crime, obviously. But if 5% of the population is committing 50% of the crimes, then yeah, that's the issue. He's so fucking dumb.
He focuses on Muslim crime.
Well, hang on. When you say that there's various stats which are misleading, Gavin did ask a pertinent question. When you say that most crime is committed by white people, well, it should be. That's still the dominant racial element in England. What about per capita, meaning per proportion?
But my question...
Hang on, real quick. I'm almost done.
Okay.
Is there a disproportionate amount of crime from these immigrants in comparison to the domestic population? That's his question. I think it's valid.
Specifically, child rape.
Well, actually, the vast majority of child rape is perpetrated in the UK by white people.
Not asking about
Per
that.
capita.
We're asking about. per
Okay, but
capita
why
numbers.
does Tommy Robinson, I don't know the per capita number, I'll get it while we're talking.
85% of gang rapes in this country are perpetrated by South Asian men, according to the Quillian report of
Well,
2017.
actually, they were British Pakistani men, to be specific, in
South Asian
parts of the north of England, right?
Kashmir, which was Pakistan.
Yeah, from Mirpur, mostly from
That's
Mirpur.
what the rallies about on May
Absolutely.
16th.
But my point,
capita.
Andrew,
It's
is
the per capita rally.
my point to Andrew is it helpful that Tommy
If you have 85% of any crime being committed by a minority group, that minority group may need to go.
Robinson only fuels a narrative that all the crimes are being committed by Muslims when they're not?
I'm not convinced that that's
an insane
actually
question.
accurate. So it seems I've watched a few of the Robinson debates, and he tends to focus on disproportionate crime rates. What Gavin's talking about here, which is per capita. He's saying that disproportionate to the domestic population that's here, these people are overwhelmingly committing these types of sex crimes. That doesn't sound to me like he's trying to pin everything on Muslims, but rather point out an individualistic and precise problem.
So we
that
have
needs to be dealt with.
we have the data for you. The arrest rates by ethnicity per 1,000 people for the year ending March 2025. Black, 19 arrests per 1,000 people. White, 10 arrests per 1,000 people. Asian, 9 arrests per 1,000 people.
Yeah, now
That's
do
not-
child
that's not actually
rape.
answering the question.
And
Okay,
the
so now
problem
you want
is
to
that
narrow
they're
it
not
down
getting
again and again and
arrested,
again.
Piers.
Okay, you asked me.
Thousands of girls
You
are
asked
getting
me.
raped.
You asked me to give
What a
you.
weird side to
That does back it up. If Asians are committing almost as much crime as the whites, and Asians are like a minority, so there's less than half for sure. Yeah, that's a disproportional crime rate. Yes.
pick.
The pro
You're mad
rata
at the guy
numbers.
who's trying to stop
There you
child
go.
rape.
Sorry.
You're mad at the guy who's trying to stop child rape.
No,
and you're calling him racist.
I'm not.
While
As I
thousands
said-
of girls are getting raped.
But again,
They nailed a girl's tongue to a piece of wood as they
Again,
raped her.
Gavin,
they raped her under the
Gavin,
Pakistani
you
flag.
said this
They
the
are
other day.
branding girls M
Gavin,
for Muhammad with a hot M.
Gavin, I have repeatedly said that where I agree with Tommy Robinson has been on his relentless campaigning against the grooming rape gangs in the north
That's
of England.
all he cares about.
Hang on, no,
That's
not all.
100%
It's not
of
all
Tommy
he
Robinson.
It's not. If only it was all he cares about, but it's not. But the point is, he claims he was the only one who ever exposed this. That the journalists of this country never exposed it, and yet it was exposed originally by a journalist from the Times newspaper. It was a literal journalist who blew the lid off that whole scandal. Tommy Robinson has been right to focus on the cover-ups, which were scandalous and outrageous, and I completely agree with him. As I would say to his face, as I've told him on social media.
Covered it up. You know why? Because you would rather let little girls get raped than be known as racist.
Why do you
All
say
you care
things like
about
that?
is your
It's just
Why would you say such a
horrible.
ridiculous
and
thing?
racist is the worst
So
thing you can be.
horrid.
So you allow girls to get raped.
Why would you say
so
such a
can
stupid
maintain your
thing?
Status. It's
Because Piers wasn't reporting the news items, just like they do here.
demonic, is what it is. I'm calling you guys demons.
Really?
You hid
Awful.
child
But you
rape
sound
to
completely
maintain your
unhinged,
status.
ironically,
That's
yourself.
what May 16th is about.
You sound unhinged.
So they make up 4%
I
of
am
the
unhinged.
population, but make up 18% of all the people jailed. Piers, what? Am I reading that right? Is that correct? I just want to make sure that I got this right. You said you're going to get these per capita numbers, and
Yeah.
I want them. Like, what are they? What are the per capita numbers? Because what I'm seeing is not looking very good. Okay, it's not looking very good for your side. So what are they? What is the actual
Why-
per capita
why are you
numbers for these
avoiding the
child sex
subject?
crimes?
I find it
Like, why do
extraordinary.
you call someone racist when they point this out?
I've literally just told you the arrest rates for ethnicity, and they speak for themselves.
Well, no, it did.
Well,
When
they do.
did you use the word
They
Muslim?
literally
When did
speak
you
for
use-
them.
No, you need the population numbers too, so you can see if Asian men who commit 9 out of every whatever crimes, and white people do it 10 out of every certain amount of people, then you can tell because they have less people there, and they're committing almost as much crime as the whites, who were a majority of people there.
the word
themselves.
Muslim?
I'm
did
not
you use the word
pretending.
Muslim?
I'm not pretending Muslims don't commit crimes. So does every other
No,
ethnicity
we're
and
asking-
religion.
Oh my
in this
God.
It's
country.
not like this
Proportionate
splitting hairs.
there.
I do think if we're talking
If
about
that's not
child
splitting
rape,
hairs.
should be
Splitting
a one-
hairs. We're splitting young girls in half. That's what we're
What's
splitting.
wrong? Why would you say that?
It's a grotesque
If you've been
thing.
around people who have been a victim of child sexual abuse, hearing something like that is horrendous. I can tell you, any victim.
No, you know what's
if you heard-
horrendous?
if they heard
Getting
you
raped
speak
by an
like
old
that, you would
Pakistani
honestly,
man.
you would
That's
put them into
horrendous.
into a